I felt like I was coming from behind, right? I felt like I was starting late, and I was like, you guys don't know who I am. I'm Terrence. Hashtag Terrence Truth.
Whatever.
For me personally, it took a lot of getting used to the craft, understanding the craft, going through all the like mistakes that you'd make along the way. And it's not morning if you haven't gone to bed. And I have no clue what you're talking about.
Throughout my career, all those moments compound together to let me develop some sort of, just a confidence and an assurance in what I bring to the table and where I'm supposed to be.
Where both of the knees,
uterus
is where cells start to sprout.
Like no one's gonna make me feel bad for not doing something that isn't my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I did. And I got a timestamp on my computer proving that I wrote it 2 months ago.
There's that thing about comfort, as far as psychology goes, that like movies like Hallmark is like, you know what you're getting, and people love that.
She's to Kipnick with an 02 sat of 87.
Is this something new, or did she do this to herself?
As you get older, I think we all get more comfortable with that. But when you're younger and there's a lot on the line, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the circumstance.
Yeah, man, I get it. Sarah can get pretty particular about the things I do too. So, yeah, very passionate ladies.
See, I think the only thing that there's something wrong with is not giving it the effort. If you say you're gonna do it, if you say you're gonna do it, give it the effort. If you fail, that's okay. If you succeed, wonderful, man.
What's up, guys? Welcome back with another episode of Breakthrough. If you guys haven't subscribed already, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You guys know the drill. Just make sure to do that. But guys, without further ado,
no more do.
Oscars here or something.
We don't do dudes.
Without further ado, guys, I have two special guests today, and this is the first. If you guys notice, this is the first time we're trying a three-hander. I feel like it's like a three-people scene that we're doing right now.
It is. We got the axis. We got the.
You know what I mean? The eyelines fit, right?
Yeah. Group scene.
Yes. Adil Zaidi and Alex Barima, guys, in the fucking house.
There we go.
Alex.
Right,
There we go.
I'm joking.
Alex.
I'm joking.
Alex.
Yeah, it's actually Alex.
Alexa.
Yeah.
Alexa. How you guys doing? How's it going?
Great, brother.
I'm trying to get you guys
good.
for a while, and fucking you guys made
Yeah,
it.
we're a hot commodity, bro.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to get us both together at the same time? Like, bro,
Package deal.
that
Package
never
deal.
happens. We're never seen together, ever.
Nope. Package deal, baby.
What's motivation goes into this shit?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the pod. This is called Breakthrough. If you guys had like a chance to kind of look up.
Yeah. I did.
But the start of this thing really just like, inspire some people who are listening to go after their dreams, their goals, and by listening to someone like you guys.
For sure.
Who's making some fucking moves and stuff like that. Well,
Hopefully we can inspire ourselves too.
Inspiration all around, baby. All
we're
around.
never done inspiring.
All around.
Nice. Cool, sick. So I want to go back, to like how you guys even started with this, because you guys are both actors. I don't even know how you guys even met. So I met you guys at a party.
Neither do I.
You guys way back.
Yeah.
But take us how I know you from Montreal, and when did you come here? Like, how did you even realize you wanted to be an actor? And then we're going to Mr. Zaidi after.
Sure. I've pretty much wanted to act my whole life, so I never really had any other jobs in mind. So I kind of grew up just normal, going to school in Montreal. Like, did my elementary, high school, and then I did a few plays in high school, things like that. And then when I went to post-secondary, or cégep as we call it,
yes.
I did my diploma in theater.
Nice.
But I had already decided I was going to move to Vancouver by the time I finished grade 10.
So why Vancouver? Why not Toronto?
So I did this talent search thing in 2007 or something like that.
Okay.
And I met an LA producer. He was either a talent manager or something like that. And, I auditioned for him, and he said, he was the one who put me on to Vancouver. He said, Vancouver's really popping. You should probably go there. You could also go to Toronto, but he's like, with your level of English, you definitely should leave Quebec. You could work in Montreal, but you'd find way more opportunity out outside of Montreal, so either
Right.
Toronto or Vancouver.
Nice.
And I just, growing up in Montreal, like Toronto was always a hard sell for me. I was just like,
Yeah, it's the same shit.
yeah, it's like I want to go. I don't want to live in a bigger city with like similar weather and
Right.
just, you know, I'd already by that point started understanding my temperament. Like I don't like really crowded places and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And Toronto's just busier than Montreal. So
Right.
yeah, I just after I graduated, I just saved up some money, and then in 2011 I moved here and then started the whole thing. I went to acting school here did a 6-month program, graduated that,
Nice.
found my agent, and then yeah, just been grinding ever since.
Been killing it.
Yeah, well, you know.
You could have been a Toronto Maple Leafs fan.
No, I couldn't have.
It's hard for
Yeah,
half the fan
yeah.
out
It's
of
just
Toronto,
like,
eh?
oh, I'm gonna be out here in the Leaf country, and I did like the Vancouver country. So.
Love that. So on the other hand, Mr. Here,
Yeah, yeah.
Switzerland. If I got
Yeah, you got it. So I was born in Switzerland, and it's obviously it's pretty hard to. There's no industry there that can connect to
Yeah.
acting. Even though like some of my earliest memories were watching, I don't know, Jurassic Park or something, and being like,
fuck yeah.
that's what I want to be. And I remember telling my mom like, I want to be a Power Ranger. I want to be in Jurassic Park. I want to work with dinosaurs. they're
Power
not.
Rangers work with dinosaurs. Are you following me here?
They're not real. They're dinosaurs. I found out later.
Right.
Yeah, they've actually been extinct for a long time.
way longer than you
I
thought.
don't know if you guys knew that. You guys know that?
I'm really telling you.
I have thoughts on that.
And
But
so I mean, long story short, finished in Switzerland. I moved to Canada when I was about 10.
So where were you in Switzerland?
I was born near Zurich and I grew up near Geneva. So on the French side, I grew up on the French side. So I speak French. I speak English and French. Yeah, I got family both near Zurich that speaks Swiss German and family near Geneva that speaks and in Geneva that speaks French.
Right.
So it's very like a bit of both. Very big mix. But it wasn't until I came out to Canada. At that point too, I'd like given up on that dream because you're in Switzerland. You're like there's no chance. Came out to Canada, no chance. Parents also wanted me to like probably be a doctor or something. And then it wasn't until not happening. It wasn't until first year of university where I had I failed. I did not do well. But I skipped all my classes. And what I did was I went to film, like the film studies class. I snuck into it and I used to go to like all those lectures because I was still obsessed with it. I still like really wanted to do it. But when I realized like the university thing wasn't going to be my thing, it's not going to be the way it worked out for me. I went back, I dropped out, and I started just basically taking any acting class I could possibly find. I think for the next like 10 years, or at least 5, but probably around 10. I took every acting class, every seminar. I felt like I was coming from behind, right? I felt like I was starting late, and I was like, a lot of people start young. I was already, I think, 20, 21 at the time, so I just decided to play as much catch up as I could, take as many classes, as many teachers, as many, and I met some really good teachers, really good friends and people along the way, and mentors and people that kind of guided me through the paths.
All that happened in Switzerland? Like when you...
No, that happened. So I moved here when I was 10 to Canada, and then I went through university in Canada, and I went to McMaster University, loved it. Loved everything but the classes, and then dropped out, started studying relentlessly with film for the next maybe 10 years, just going nonstop, every single class I could go to. And then, things started working out. I was in Toronto at the time, eventually moved over to Vancouver in 2013.
Okay, nice.
Meaning I'd probably been doing it for about anywhere from 5 to 8 years at that point in Toronto.
3-year gap.
There is. It's just,
What happened?
5 to 8 years.
I disappeared. I was gone.
That's a big gap.
Yeah, it's top secret.
Some say 5, some say 8.
Some say 8. It was a mystery. I was trying to figure. I was working as a spy for a while.
Yeah.
But no, it wasn't until Vancouver. Like I came to Vancouver, I signed with a really good agent out here, and then things started like really picking up for me out here. So
Wait, you were a really good agent, you said?
I got a really good agent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
out in Vancouver, and then things I think at that point really started picking up for me personally.
Right. So, did you guys pretty much just found an agent shortly after moving here, and you kind of because you
I did.
You
I don't know
went
about
to
you.
school and shortly after you
My agent came to our school and scouted at the school. So so I signed with her right before I even graduated. I was signed with her.
Yeah, because I know you had the showcase, right?
Yeah, it was even before the showcase. She just came in to scout the class, and then she just contacted me. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
I had a teacher that set me up with a bunch of meetings, and I think in 2013 there wasn't a lot of brown people here. So every single,
Well, not acting anyway.
Not acting. Yeah. No, there were brown people here. I've taken cabs in Vancouver. I know there's brown people here. There was none in film, and so like a lot of agents were like, "Oh man, yeah, of course." I didn't even have that much experience, to be honest. Like looking back, I definitely signed with an agent that was probably way ahead of my league, but it was like I was just filling a void that didn't exist, and so I jumped at the opportunity. I signed with the best person I found, and then yeah, like I said, things kind of worked out for me more in Vancouver than they did Toronto because of that. You know, I feel like that was part of the reason.
Nice. I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you guys have been in the game for like how long now?
2 decades, like 17 years, probably. Three-year gap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 20 years, 17.
Yeah, 17, 20, something like that. Something like that.
What, 7 to 10 years? 3 years.
No, you started before I did. Well, I guess, I don't know. I started, I only count from when I signed. So when I graduated, so I graduated March 2012. So exactly 13 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first agent was 2008. I remember that was like, but it was like, you know, it obviously, it's interesting because it's like, it goes to show you can get an agent or you can get like yourself started, but Alex had more experience than I did. I had never acted in my life before I jumped into a class in like 2007, 2008.
Right.
And so there was like a lot of catch up on my end going like, well, I don't have all that experience. I didn't do any theater in elementary school. I didn't or high school. I didn't do any sort of major performing arts. I played music. I played in a band, but like it took, for me personally, it took a lot of getting used to the craft, understanding the craft, going through all the like mistakes that you'd make along the way, and you know, until I felt both comfortable and like I felt like things were actually going my way.
Right.
So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Love that. And like, how long it took you guys to start, like, I guess, like, seeing some sort of results, like booking and stuff like that? Like, did you guys pretty much just...
Hopefully soon. Any day now.
I don't know, bro. We're still talking. We're still not there. I don't know what he's talking about.
Any day now, I hope, yeah.
It's been like fucking 10 years and you're still not together.
It do feel like that sometime, though. No, I mean, I don't know. I had, like Adil said, I had a lot of experience coming into the business. I didn't have any film or TV experience, so that's one thing that I was really grateful for when I went to the 6-month program I did here at Vancouver Academy of Dramatic Arts. Plugged. Shout out Simon Longmore. No, it was great. Like, honestly, I learned a lot. Like, we learned so much about the actual film industry and how it works. And the great thing about that program is that they really prepared you to work. So you learned how to be on set. You learned how to get your profile together, your headshots. You learned how to just a lot of professional knowledge that you wouldn't get through theater education, right? And so once I had that under my belt, like, you know, after that, it's all about actually doing the thing and getting on set and getting the work experience. But yeah, no, I found I booked pretty quickly out of school. My first gig was a commercial, I remember, and just getting on set and being like, oh, damn, like, this is a lot more intense than I expected. Like, there was like, you know, it's like we're shooting a 30-second commercial and this is one scene, and in the final edit, this scene is like maybe 3 seconds long, but there was, I don't know, 100 people there, like just working, and I was like, okay, shoot. And then it was from that moment on, I was like, let's get it.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if mine was a commercial. I think I had like a 1-day thing on like a CBC show.
You're not gonna see
what was my first job? I want to say it was I did like, what got me started right away was I loved Saturday Night Live. That was like I watched so much Saturday Night Live as like when I was in that period of my life, and there was a show, like kind of a sketch comedy show that a friend of mine was putting together, and so they got picked up, I think, by like Rogers TV on some tertiary or fourth level network that they had. So we did that for like a little bit, and that might have been my first exposure. It was really fun because you got into it from like a sketch comedy side, which is something I always wanted to do. But very shortly after, I think Cracked was a cop drama on CBC or something. It was like one of those procedural cop dramas. And I did like a day on that, and that was my first experience of being like, whoa, this is moving, like this is a big operation. This is no joke. This is not like sketch comedy cameras in some small room somewhere. So it's eye-opening,
Love it.
It's definitely eye-opening.
Were you guys like nervous in some sort of way? Like, fuck, I can't fuck this up. This is my first day on, like, I gotta bring my A game.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous right now. I'm nervous every day.
Keeping the nerves out, but
I'm nervous every day.
Was it like nerves? I guess like the first time you got on, like, and be like, oh, you know what? I'm on a professional set. Did that make you feel different? I guess in a way.
I don't even think nervous is the right word. Like, I've showed up and like you've been on a set, right? It's like you have no clue what's happening. You show up and they're like, okay, so somebody texts you like, okay, you're gonna meet the second AD and we're gonna take you to like, here's where you need to land at this time. Here's your call time. You're like, okay, sure. And then you make it to the address and you're like, okay, I think I have a grasp on what's going on. And then they're like, okay, come with me. And I remember like it was my first time experiencing the like hurry up and wait thing where they grabbed me. They're like, okay, we're gonna put you through hair and makeup. Here's your costume. Here's your trailer. I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, okay, we'll come get you when we're ready. And it was like 6 hours, 6 or 7. It's like 6 or 7 hours of me waiting.
How long you thought ready meant at this point? Like, a couple minutes.
Yeah, well, they said like, okay, you're ready to go. You did everything. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go. I ate. I'm good. Like, I'm ready to start any minute. They're like, okay, keep that same energy. I'm like, yeah. And then 6 hours, 7 hours later, they're like, okay, we're finally ready for you. I'm like, I'm sleeping.
Yeah. It's tomorrow now.
No, but it was just cool because like you get to the circus we call here, the base camp, and it's just like there's so many people, so much going on, so many vehicles, so much action. And that's the thing. I was just like, I don't know who to look for now. Like 13 years later, you know how to spot who's doing what right away. But back then, you're just like, do I talk to you? Do I talk to you? I'm so and so, and they don't know who you are either because when you start out and you're doing these smaller roles, it still happens later in my career. Like even if I book a smaller role on something and I show up,
they probably think that you're one of the crew guys or whatever.
No, they usually think you're an extra. Like, even on a show that I've been on for a long time, I make sure to wear my gear to the show just so nobody thinks I'm lost or something. Like,
Yeah, extra holding is down that way.
Yeah. Oh, that
Colin, it's me. How are you?
Yeah.
It's so fun. That's fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Nice. Okay. Well, I have both of you guys on IMDb. I've been watching my show.
Yeah. Well prepared.
Homework. I like the homework.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but
you're wrong.
Is the Exorcist?
Yeah.
Is that the first one that kind of, I guess, propelled your career for one?
Yeah, that was the biggest show I've done still to this day, probably.
Okay. Walk us through that. Like, how did you even audition for this, and then what was the audition process like? How did you hear back? It
was the same as everything else, honestly. Like I went in, did an audition. This was back when we were still doing mostly room auditions before COVID. I went in, I got the breakdown. I was like, oh, this character seems right up my alley. I went in there, did an audition, and then I got the callback, and I did the callback with not the showrunner, but one of the executive producers / directors of the show was there for the callback, and he made me do it a few times. And by the end, I felt very confident that I was going to get it. And then, sure enough, I got it. It was my first, kind of regular role on a TV show, I suppose. Right. I'd had a couple recurrings before that, but this was the first time where I was going to be in like the entire series from start to finish and have like a very significant part.
Like, was it like the name literally says?
Yeah. So it was the second season. It was the second season of the show. It's about possession. It's about this Catholic. It follows these two Catholic priests. I think they're Catholic anyway. These two priests. So one priest and one exorcist, like by profession. And I think that kind of is where the movie. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, but I think that's kind of the deal. It's like they have to find an actual exorcist, so they team up to like tackle these demons. Right. And the second season was about John Cho was the father of this.
Like watching a theater or something.
Yeah, no, it was super fun.
Well, there's a lot of movies prior to that.
It was super fun. It was very interesting in terms of like a lot of people don't mess around with that. Like I'm a Christian, so I definitely had some reservations about the project.
Okay.
Not once I was on it, but even before I was like, okay, let me see. Like, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is always in line with like who I want to, you know what I mean?
And are you holding back? Is that what you're saying?
No. Well, I was playing the most Christian guy on the show who wasn't a priest, so I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But even before we started production, like they had 2 priests come and bless the whole set and like really take it seriously. I mean, we had some creepy stuff happen on that set.
I didn't know that.
Real life priests. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they came in and blessed. They blessed the whole set. Yeah.
That is
So
super
like, what did
cool.
they do? They just came.
They just walked around and blessed. Yeah, I wasn't there when they did it. But they came and like they consecrated the set. They were like,
that is
we're gonna protect you guys from the devil because you're playing the game right now.
I like that.
Yeah. No, it came in handy. I'll tell you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Not a lot of people do.
Neither did I, and I like that move. That's a good move.
Fuck. I mean, I would expect like on a fucking like karate fucking show or something, they would like bring karate guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
No. This was just
on a priest movie. They would actually bring like actual.
I mean, hey,
but
man.
it's not for consulting. It was really just for protection because everybody's heard the horror stories about The Exorcist and all the stuff that happens to the people after they worked on the movie or whatever. Okay. It's like it's no joke.
Yeah,
it's
joke. I mean, there's a history there, right?
Yeah.
Like with the Exorcist series. So
right.
I think that's cool. I think it's super cool. I did not know that.
Nice. So going back to you, I feel like that's the good doctor.
Yeah, The Good Doctor was kind of a good place to start in terms of time wise. It was. I mean, if we're shouting out education things, I was with the Actors Foundry and I was with Deb Podolsky. Shout out to those two who kind of guided. Yeah, and they both like really propelled me in the period of time that I was studying with them. And I think I was with Deb at the time that I was kind of getting Good Doctor and. It kind of packaged itself. There's some Hallmark stuff that also came in. It was kind of that year that really for me was, I'd been doing it for quite a while, but that Good Doctor thing landed and it came off as just like a 1 episode thing, like a 1 day thing. Then they were like, hey, you want to do the next episode? Then they're like, you want to do the next one? You want to do that? And before you know it, I had
you thought you were going to be a
dude, I was just like a nurse there. I was just like, I was a 1 day, I think it was like 2 days in episode 5 of season 1. That was just like, that was supposed to be it. It was good to go. Right. And then I shot that.
You must have killed that day. What did you do?
This is about inspiration, bro.
I was the best actor that day. Yeah. Best nurse in the business, let me tell you. Yeah.
Fucking 1 day to a fucking
yeah.
He snuck into medical school.
Yeah. I made my parents real proud. I said, hey, look, I made it. I made it into the medical field.
I'm fucking joking.
Yeah. Mom and Dad, guess what? Be happy.
Yeah.
It started out as a 1-2 day thing. Then they were like, hey, we actually want to put you in the next one. Like, can you do 1 day there? And then they were like, can you do 1 day on the next episode? And then can you do 1 day on? So after like 5 or 6, I think, episodes in the first season and a couple in the second, it ended up building like more of a body that I was like, first of all, something it gives you a lot of confidence, especially at that time when you're trying to like, you're trying to figure something out and trying to find a spot to land, and then you get that sort of momentum. It's validating, and you definitely get a ton of confidence that comes from all that. But that kind of era also coupled up with Hallmark being like, for whatever reason, they liked what I was doing with a couple things. They brought me back for, it was like 1 movie off the bat, then there was another one led to another one. Before you know it, there was a decent Hallmark portfolio as well, which also helps your resume, it helps your reel, it helps your frequency in the room. Also, a lot of people seem to watch these Hallmark movies, so like
it's like a thing in the West here. Like,
people love them. I didn't even know, coming from Toronto, I didn't even really understand the gravity of Hallmark, I guess, or what the space they hold in the industry. And so
I could take on this maybe because like, could it be that like, people are way too depressed in fucking BC that they fucking need some fucking light in their fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. No, I'm kidding.
No, but it's I think they're very, very popular in like suburban communities, like in the States as well.
Big time.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're very, very
big.
It's just and again, like that's the reason why people watch TV. A lot of us modern like millennials are into, the Game of Thrones and the edgy stuff, but people of retirement age, they just want it, like all the Hallmark movies that I've done, it's always my friend's parents.
And fucking, like,
Yeah. They want
My
easy,
friends' parents
right?
watch them and they're like, "This is the favorite movie I've seen all year."
Literally.
Yeah.
People, the way people talk to you about Hallmark movies, it's like the greatest.
To them,
And honestly,
and they'll be like, "I've seen it 6-7 times." Yeah, they
and
just love it.
The thing is, like, there is, if you really go into the psychology of it, it's like there is something about comfort, something to be said about the comfort, which is why a lot of people watch what they watch. Like, half the time, you could be watching something, one of these shows, and you know how it's going to end, right? You're like, it's a CBC cop show. They're going to find the guy. Like, you know, in the end of this episode, within 60 minutes, they will find this guy.
Right.
And you will get a conclusion. You will get your the result that you're looking for, and then you can move on. There's that thing about comfort, as far as psychology goes, that, like, movies like Hallmark is like, you know what you're getting, and people love that, like, subconsciously or consciously, people love that feeling. And so networks like that, shows like that, movies like that will always have a place. There will always be room for procedurals. You see new ones come out every year. You see new Hallmark movies come out every year, and nothing is ever losing steam. They're all the same. Everything is the same. You know, but they don't lose any steam, because there is a market and people like comfort.
Absolutely. Speaking of comfort, something that's been popping out lately is verticals. If you guys have been seeing that, I mean, you've been off Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck that is.
I don't even know. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, he's on it.
Something about what I'm talking about.
What are verticals?
He doesn't.
Tell me. I actually don't. I don't think I do.
You, on social media, like when you fucking scrolling, they have like these little, I call them like fucking mini Netflix, bro. Like, it's just like literally what they are.
Oh, like
they
these,
kind of like give you a little snippet.
Yeah.
It's a vertical, like it's shot vertically on iPhone.
It's made for social media. It's made for
acting
like.
seems very cheesy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's just like someone like very cheesy acting, just like to get the attention of the whoever, like, you know, is on their phone. And it's something that, you know, it's been popping.
I've seen them. I've seen
So
them.
is it like what they tried to do with what's it called?
Yes, exactly.
That thing that never worked.
Not Tubi, but
no, before. Yeah, do you remember this? The thing you were supposed to watch, like it's a 6-minute.
Yeah, it was like before
the pandemic.
Before the Instagram stuff. What was that?
It wasn't Tubi. It was another not a network.
Vine.
Like
No. But this was like a network.
But there was
thing.
Vine.
They were making TV shows that were broken up into 6-minute episodes for this platform that never took off. But then, it was like right around.
They're after me.
Yeah, it was right around COVID, and they started production on like all these things.
Yeah. The cops came in.
Yeah. I forget what it was called. I forget what it was called, but I could Google it, but it's fine.
I know what you're talking about, and I don't remember the
they
name
were making
of
a bunch of them here.
because it was exactly, and it was like through YouTube, was it not? Like,
No. This was like a new platform. I'm pretty sure.
It's not Vine. I feel like Vine.
No, it's way later. This is 2019.
Yeah, there was a thing they were trying to put off the ground, but it was in line.
It sounds like Tubi or Mubi or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
Mubi,
It was like,
Tubi,
It was like
Mubi.
Moby. I don't know.
One of these.
Now I feel like I'm dishonoring the people who worked on this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Google it. I'm just gonna Google it.
Google it. Be honest.
Quibi.
But Quibi. It had a.
What that is.
Well, that makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it did not do well.
It didn't work. But
No,
You said like what was the premise?
Same concept.
What were they supposed to do?
the idea was that they would make a TV show, but it would be shot like a movie, but the episodes would be very, very short.
Okay.
And so you would have time to watch them like in a very small amount of time. Let's say you're on the bus or whatever. You could watch 2 episodes or something.
Oh.
Instead of, watching a 25 to 45 minute episode, it would be 6 minutes to probably
So the
10 minutes.
entire episode is within 6 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Middle and end.
Yeah.
Entire thing.
Yeah.
Wow,
quick.
okay.
And there would probably be 10 of them or whatever.
It's all about that Gen Z
Right.
3
Attention
minutes of
span,
attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think COVID killed it. I mean, I might be wrong, but the idea was you were supposed to watch it on the go, and then people couldn't go anywhere. So they were
Yeah.
just like-
So they went
pretty much.
back
Yeah.
to long form.
Yeah, like about fucking TikTok, which was
Yeah.
basically the same. Like it's just if you were
Well, they pop up on TikTok too now, though. These verticals. That's what they're called.
I call them verticals. Like that's what people usually call them.
That's nice. Yeah, I'd never heard
shot
the.
vertically, and then they're very like it's like if you ever like watch one, it's very cheesy acting. Everything's over the top.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, look, God bless them. God bless them.
Brutal.
God bless them. But it's a format that I have not seen be able to give me a ton of money, and I hate to be selfish about it, but I'm like, I'm going to be favoring an avenue that like I can, if something comes up in that realm where I'm like, oh man, this source material is like amazing, and I really want to work with these people or whatever it may be. Yeah, I can see a world where I'd be like, oh, let's experiment and play around with that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like, where are they? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen any. I don't know.
Nice. Okay, so I want to go back to, I guess not go back, but just go. Do you guys like remember a moment on sets where you felt like you fucking fucked something up, you were like embarrassed, or something funny happened, something very memorable that really stuck with you, that you might want to share with us, that that still really haunts you until
every set, every first take in every first take in every set.
Yeah.
No,
my whole career is one big haunting.
No. Man, there's actually, there are a lot of good stories. If you have one, jump in. I don't know. I'm pretty good at like letting that stuff go, to be honest. There's definitely moments where I don't feel great about what's happening as it's happening. Mm-hmm. But for me, in terms of my actual work, it's never really related to that. It's usually something to do with the logistical side, like the work side. So something behind the scenes went wrong, or there was a miscommunication, and that stuff kind of annoys me, because a lot of this business, you're on your own, right? When you're acting, like by the time you make it to set, there's no one there to defend you. Your agent's not there, your manager's not there, your lawyer's not there. I don't have a lawyer. Yeah. So you have to defend your own interest, right? So when someone's when someone makes a mistake or tries to pull one over on you, right, or you make a mistake or whatever, it's like there's no one else there to deal with. So there's definitely been more than a few situations where I've messed up, or someone has messed up, or I've been portrayed to have messed up, and there was a miscommunication. But I think there's no one moment that stands out in particular, but I think throughout my career, all those moments compound together to let me develop some sort of, just a confidence and an assurance in what I bring to the table and where I'm supposed to be. Like no one's gonna make me feel bad for not doing something that isn't my job. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So that's kind of where I'm at. It's like if someone wants to be upset because I didn't do something, I'm like, well, whose responsibility is this really? Like, if it's something I should have done, I'll wear it. But if it's, you know what I mean? But if it's someone else's job, like if you need to be talking to costumes, like that's where you need to be directing your attention, or hair or makeup or whatever. Like, don't look at me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just the guy who reads the lines and that's it. Yeah. I just work here, man.
In the same vein, there's no like one major specific job, and even if there was, I don't know if I'd out them here or out myself here.
Soon to be unemployed.
Uncensored and unemployed. No, but it was Hallmark. I'll say that. There are. The thing is, like, there's a lot of, because we're talking about mistakes that like I've made per se, right? Like that's a question. That's what we're getting to the bottom of. And the thing is, like, you can look at mistakes and be like, man, I fucked up, or I did this wrong, or I did that wrong, and pin yourself that way. But there's also a lot of mistakes, I think. I can see in my own career, but I can also see when I'm on set now and I see newer actors hop on. There's mistakes that are made simply because you're not aware yet of how certain things work. You know what I mean? Like, there are specific moments I can think of on sets where I felt like either I was being disrespected, or like maybe I did make a mistake and it was blown out of proportion. But looking back, if you really take a step back, a lot of those were made by me, at least, because my experience just wasn't there at the time. You know what I mean? I just wasn't aware of how the tiniest little things that actors are supposed to do or supposed to have their grasp on, I didn't, simply because, like, how could I hadn't been in those shoes before.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly normal.
So mistakes and whatnot that are made, I mean, at the end of the day, you learn from them, you grow from them. And as an actor, all of us can probably attest, when you end up on set, after you had all this experience and you're watching some of the newer guys come on or the younger guys come on, and you see them kind of making similar mistakes, you're like, oh, there it is. Like, these mistakes, most of the time, they're not coming from like, oh, I got to set and I was unprepared, because that would mean I don't care about my job, and that's not necessarily true. Like, if there's one thing I do have under my control, it's the ability to be prepared. It's kind of all I have, right? Is like read the script, know the lines, get the stuff down right, know your character inside and out so that you can show up and you can play. But every now and then, yeah, you'll get to set, you'll find yourself in a situation, or you'll something will happen, and it'll be, if it were to happen to me now, I'd be like, oh, I've had 15 years worth of experience here. I know exactly how to handle this, boom, boom, and we're done. But yeah, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was like, I don't know what to do. And then that just became worse and worse and worse on set until I got in my own head. I started panicking, and then the whole wheels fall off the car at that point, right? So
we start from there.
Yeah, I think like mistakes, sure, but I think there's a lot of it that's attested to experience when it comes to it. And even when I notice like people make mistakes on set these days, it's not because they don't care or they don't want to be there. It's because the experience just isn't there to let them know this is okay, this is not okay, this is what you should do, and this is what you shouldn't do. So don't do that.
It makes total sense. I mean, like when you book a new job, like, and you go first day or whatever, you're probably gonna fucking get everything wrong. Like, so you're in like they're probably like giving you training or whatnot, and then you're gonna fucking mess it up. There's no way you're gonna get it right the first week or whatever.
There needs to be room for you to not know things. Like, it's just, and as you get older, I mean, I think we all get more comfortable with that. But when you're younger and there's a lot on the line, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the circumstance and the pressure, right? So I think that's been kind of the journey. But yeah, I know I've like walked into a camera once and things like that. It's like dumb stuff.
I've absolutely fallen on the camera.
So. Just like, okay, and then you turn around and then you walk away, and I'm like, turn around.
You were shooting a scene that you walked right in?
Like the camera was behind me, and then I had to turn around and walk off, and then I had like these sunglasses on, and it was dark, couldn't see anything, and then I just walked, and I was looking at the ground, and
I've absolutely fallen over a camera, no doubt. They're like, hey, you gotta turn and run.
Even in the moment, I wasn't even that embarrassed. I was just like, whoa. I'm not, is it broken? No, okay, good.
Am I broken?
No, are you hurt? No, they didn't ask me if I was hurt. They were like, get out of here.
We don't need any clumsy people around here.
I'm so clumsy.
I've absolutely ran into
which is why I'm so careful.
It hurt too. Like, I remember it. And watching it hurt.
It does.
And they were like, "You hurt?" I was like, "No, no."
What are you gonna say?
I'm fine. Bleeding.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we might call an ambulance here.
That's so fucking crazy. Okay, since we're on that topic still, has it ever occurred for you guys where you've like a specific skill set was required for you guys to play the role? I don't know, like fucking like if you like booked a fucking swordsman or some shit.
Sure,
you don't fucking know anything about swords. Has it ever occurred where you had to play a role where that character had something went on for him, where like it wasn't in your arsenal? That's something you have to go and learn, prepare for it, and then fucking bring it in the authentic way and fucking sell it.
That's a good question.
Yeah, you want a minute?
The only time I've ever, I can remember now that I've only had to do that. I didn't get my driver's license until I was 30, so most of my roles, most of my roles, if they ever needed me to drive, I couldn't do it.
I was on his case.
Bro, everybody was on my fucking case, dog. Like, you weren't bringing me any new information. I'm fucking 30 years old. No, but that was more of a problem for getting to work than actually doing the work. Once it came down to, I never had to drive. I think I've still, now I just did a car commercial. I've only had to drive on set once or twice, but no, I remember just when I was doing Man in the High Castle, they wanted me to like learn to play the harmonica, so they had a guy they had me meet up with a musician for a couple times, and he just showed me a little bit how to play, and it was great. But no, there's never been anything so deep outside my wheelhouse that it's like the biggest thing I had to do was when we did Tomorrowland. They had us do like a free fall stunt. Okay. So we were hooked up to some wires, and then they would like drop us and then like 30 feet in the air, and then they would drop us, and then we would stop like 2 feet before the ground. Yeah, and so well, it's not I had to sell it as if I wasn't falling, as if I was just landing a jetpack.
Okay.
And so I remember them doing the stunt meeting here, and they were like, "Okay, you're gonna be hanging up pretty high. Are you afraid of heights?" I'm like, "No, I'm not afraid of heights, but I'm like, I don't love falling." And then they looked at me and they just said, well, you're going to be coming down pretty fast. I said, okay, we'll see. And then sure enough, we got to the stunt rehearsals like a couple days before the shoot, and they started dropping me. Okay, we're going to drop you down about 50% speed. And I'm up there. I'm like, this is not good.
50%? What's the 100%, bro?
Exactly. So they dropped me down 50%, and I was like, I got down. I was like, you can't go faster than that. I'll die. Like, I'll cry. Like, and so they're like, okay, now 80%. And by 80%, I was like...
They were going by increments.
Well, they were, because they were like, we need to get you used to it. Yeah. And when they got to 85%, I looked at them, I said, I don't think I can do this. And to their credit, they were an amazing stunt team, right? They were like a world-class... They're like a world-class stunt team. Well, it wasn't funny at the time, I'll tell you that.
I'm picturing Alex falling out of the sky, and I think that's pretty funny.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Like fucking levels the speed. Like,
yeah.
No, they...
on a fucking graph or some shit?
No, they just knew.
80% threshold that we just got to.
No, they were just professionals, man. They just knew. But they also could tell how nervous I was because they saw. They were like, this kid is not... Well,
We're not made to fall, I'll tell you that.
No, the other 2 guys I was with, they were loving it. They were loving it. They were like, yeah, more. I was like, no. Like, I am an actor. Like, you need to hire someone else to do this. They're like, no, don't worry. Like, you'll be fine. You just have to do it more and more and more. And I was like, I don't want
to... question. You didn't have a fucking stunt double or some shit?
No, I did not. Like, this was the role. Like, I had to do the stunt. It was like a stunt role. It was
part of the role. It came with...
Yeah, but it wasn't sold that way. That's the interesting part that I won't get into too much of that here. But
the legal battle.
They let that part out.
They definitely left that part out.
That does happen a lot, though. I'm gonna say
like
that does happen a lot.
This doesn't. this does not happen.
I've had quite a few scenarios where I'm like, well, maybe you should have told me.
No. But like, I'm just saying, you do a stunt where it's normal for actors to do some stunts, of course, and not to be considered a stunt. You'll do a fight scene with someone. It's like you're not really doing stunts. But if you have to, jump out of a building or jump off of something or like be in a car crash or something, like there are people who are trained to do that stuff. So in this circumstance,
really heavy lifting, and then whenever they want to show your face during the stunt, that's when they'll have you.
Exactly. And even for fights, we get stunt doubles. You know what I mean? So for this
even
specific
for falls,
thing,
you get stunt doubles.
Absolutely.
Really,
And this stunt wasn't dangerous in terms of like I was at risk of injury, but it was a risky maneuver in terms of like if anything does go wrong, my life is definitely in jeopardy, right? And so there was that whole aspect.
Too, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But so anyway, long story short, they made me do it a bunch of times, and by the end, it was fine. They were right. They were like, "You'll get used to it. You'll be fine." Because at first, they're like, "You need to act like you're not scared." I'm like, "I'm terrified." I'm terrified.
I'm shitting my pants.
Yeah. And by the end, they were right. I managed to do it.
So you went to 100%? Like you fucking...
Yeah. Okay. And we only did, by the time we shot it, we only did it twice.
Nice.
Jesus, okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, man.
I want to see the shot now.
I know. I want to see the shot.
Go watch Tomorrowland. Go watch Tomorrowland on Disney Plus.
Edit the clip right here. No, I mean, it happens. A lot, no, but it does happen. I had a show that I was working on that, I was not aware that I had to do this, and it ended up being a full stuntman job. Honestly, it was a chase scene where I was being chased by cops and stuff, and then I had to run, and there was 3 different marks I had to hit. I had to run into a couple people who were stunt people playing just civilians, and run into them. They went flying, and then I got to the end, and I got tased. It was this whole thing, and I wasn't really told I had to do any of that at the beginning, which is again okay. I love doing that stuff.
Did they tell you?
Well, they came to me on the day and they were like, "Hey, man, we need this bit done. You think you can do it? You want to do it?"
Right.
And at that point, yeah,
it, right? It's
to their credit,
small little thing that we're gonna.
A small little, had nothing to do with running into a camera,
business,
even though that happened. But it's to their credit, they did come up to me and they were like, they did check it all with me, except They did it on the day, and I was like, I love
When are you gonna see all the, like,
I love the adrenaline stuff. I was like, yeah, sure, okay, let's do it. You know, like, you have my consent. It's all good. Let's do it. Let's play. And it turned out to be really fun. Like, you know, we went through a couple. Like, was there moments of like higher risk of injury than others? Absolutely. But like, it ended up being really fun. But to go back to your initial question, which was like, did you ever have to like get into a skill set that you maybe weren't used to? I mean, you could go back to like Good Doctor, for example. I am not a medical, I don't know anything.
Right.
So like, there were a bunch of medical professionals on set,
transfusions and whatnot,
and a lot of even the word transfusion, I was like, how do you say that? There was a lot of medical professionals on set that were consulting throughout that entire process. So there were definitely things, especially with my guy who was like, he was a nurse, so I had maybe a couple of like medical lingo, and then I had to linger around in the scene, right? Like, I had to be there without saying anything while maybe two of the leads were having conversations. It's like, I don't look stupid. So a lot of what I had to do was go up to those consultants and be like, hey, man, I don't know anything about medical anything. Yeah, once I do this and I put the mask on, the oxygen mask on, and I strap the blood pressure thing, now I've got another like minute and a half to kill. Like, what do I just stand there? Like, no. And like, you know, to their credit, obviously, like, that's what they're there for. They came over.
Right.
They walked me through like a puzzles of like, yeah, you're probably going to check the levels on this. Then you're going to look over and then you're going to maybe try to say something here. But before that, you also have to make sure that this strap is checked. And while you're doing that, make sure the levels are good over here. And it became this kind of puzzle
That's a lot of information.
It's tons. But it became this kind of puzzle that like I was not. That was brand new to me, but within 3 minutes before they call action, I now have to take this puzzle, piece it together, and match it to the exact dialogue that the leads are going to have, so that I'm not fucking them up in any which way,
right?
Because that would be bad. So all of these little things that are completely foreign to me, completely new to me, all these tools that I don't know how to use, hold. I don't want to, I think I speak for literally every actor ever. None of us want to discredit the professionals that actually do these jobs for a living, whether you're a soldier in the army or medical professional or a lawyer or whatever.
Sometimes we have to. The show must go on.
Yeah. Sometimes you sacrifice, but you do your best. You do your best to try to make sure that like what you're doing isn't going to look stupid, so that the profession itself can have a little dignity on set.
Yeah.
But The Good Doctor did that. I did something called Alert, a show called Alert, and I was just like alien. Conspiracy theorist guy.
Oh.
And as much as I love alien conspiracy theory, I don't know much about it. So I did spend like a bunch of time listening to like podcasts and everything.
How'd you get the
Well, acting.
Did you like sell the performance in the audition, like where you had like this?
No, like, look, here's the thing. I did the audition the way I would any audition. Like I did as best I could and delivered as much of it as I could. But when I did get the job, I was like, there's now more to it than just the audition, right? There's other scenes, there's other moments, there's moments between scenes. I kind of need to know. I need to get in the head of this person so that I can get there. And if I do need to come up with something, I'm not coming up with it blank. I'm coming up with it being like, oh, actually, there's some sort of history to this. But there's enough jobs that we get. In fact, I would say 99.9% of the jobs I get are people in professions that I don't know anything about. And for me personally, I speak for every actor probably in the world. That's like, the fun of it is like, okay, let's get into this person's brain. Let's get into this profession. Like, if you're a certain profession, chances are you live life a certain way. And if you live life a certain way, it's probably important to understand what that is.
Yeah.
To then be able to get to screen. And if you ever have a moment where you're like, oh man, we need to fill the void here. We need to fill 30 seconds or, I don't know, give me something that'll reflect the job that you do. It'll be much better and much smarter for myself to show up on set having an understanding of what life is like for those people. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, that way it's just, there's more authenticity, there's more respect towards the professions, and
you're honoring the character.
You're honoring the character, the profession, the people that do that job. I think that's like where a lot of the fun lies for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll say for me.
Well, I just want to circle back to one thing for the viewers. If you're an actor and you're ever on set and you're being asked to do something and you're not sure if you are comfortable doing it, whether it's a stunt, something sexual, whatever, that's what your people are there for. And like, you need to develop the like relationship with them where you can call them in that moment, because at the end of the day you're being presented with something in the heat of the moment on the day, which isn't fair to you. And there is no world in which you are not allowed to say, let me just get back to you, I'm gonna let my agent in on it and see if we're cool with it, because a lot of the times like they're not allowed to do that to you, but if you say yes, then
you're good. You waived your
then you've already agreed. But if you can agree under different circumstances, you can say, I'll do it, but I know that if I'm to do this, you need to compensate me differently, and it needs to be recorded in a different way and such. And so I just want people to really know what, because you don't have a lot of power in this business, so you got to use what little you do have to protect yourself.
No, it is, and that's something that like it took me so long to learn in film.
It takes a long time for all of us,
But you are protected. You have rights too as a performer. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it's like I talk about this like chase scene that they came and asked me. You know, like if I had felt uncomfortable, I had a moment to be like, no, I don't want to do that. I asked them to walk me through it, and I was like, no, it's above what I thought I was going to do, but at the same time, let's do it, you know?
But I just mean, even like they might be saving money asking you to do that, and I'm like, I'm not here to make you save money.
My safety and my comfort is just like important.
It's a business thing, you know, because we're so eager to please. That's the thing. We're actors. As soon as someone wants us around, we think, oh my gosh, like I need to do everything in my power to make these people feel like I did a good job. And it's like, you can do a good job and still be respected. You know what I'm saying? But it's a fine line, because it's easy to make you feel ungrateful because you don't want to be a team player, but it's like, what's being a team player if I'm the one getting screwed? Like, you know.
No, it's important to understand all that. Like again, that takes time. That took me so long to be
especially if like a newer actor too. Like,
dude.
Want to say anything? You're like, oh,
no.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
But it's important, like, you know, stand up for yourself and fucking, you know, like just
in a respectful way.
In a respectful way. And it's like it really does come down to moments where you're like, if you feel uncomfortable, you know, like if it's physical, if it's sexual, if it's any of that, and it was never really discussed, it is in your right to take a moment, you know, call your people if you got to call your people, or talk to the producers if you got to talk to the producers. That is all. The amount of time it took me to realize that I had the permission to do that, or like I had the right to do that.
Would you guys, like, for example, like if, again, in a hypothetical scenario where they're asking you to do something outside of the scope of what that was agreed on, would you guys negotiate the rates on the spot, or would you like?
Oh, I have a real situation. on the spot, you mean like on the day?
Yeah, I'd be like, we would like walk up to these guys like, okay, I'll do the stunt that you want me to do, but
you gotta pay me.
Oh, but you would like talk to. But you don't have to do it on the day. If your agent knows, then they can take care of it. Yeah, they can take care of it. They can take care of it after the fact. That happened to me on other jobs. But I had a job where I booked a part, we signed the deal, and then they sent me a rewrite of the script maybe a day later, not even, and all of a sudden there was like a bit of nudity in it, and I said I didn't agree to this, and so they went back and forth, and then they negotiated. I got more money, and I was like, okay. But if I had just been like, oh cool, I got it, no problem, I wouldn't have gotten a dime. Like it's simple as that. Always read the script.
Always read the script.
Always read. When they send you those rewrites, read them.
Money usually always goes through your agent manager. So like I would not be on set ever discussing how much I'm making, or if I'm to make more, any of that.
No, but you can have that conversation with your agent for sure, and be like, hey, they want me to do this, can we get more? They'll either tell you yes or no.
I agree.
And I don't think it's yes more often than you think.
Right.
Yeah, and every agent will probably be willing to ask. Like they'll be ready to ask. At worst, you'll get a no, but like every agent will be willing to ask.
100%. Nice. Okay, so I wanna, because I'm hearing you guys like talking about all these beautiful things. You guys are both like accomplished actors. You've been on so many shit. I just can't help to wonder, like, what's the end goal here? Like, where are we heading?
Retirement.
Pension. RRSP.
Let's start with Alex first.
Yep.
What's the, like, paint us a picture of the finish line? Like, where are we going with all this?
The finish line. I mean, that's an interesting question.
Right.
Well, I see it this way, right? So I always planned ahead. Plan is the wrong word, but I always had like a very far vision of where I wanted to be. So When I was 16, I decided to move to Vancouver. I moved to Vancouver when I was 20. When I started acting, I said, okay, I want to like, you know, be a lead on a TV show or something. And that takes a lot of doing, but I managed to secure pretty much what I wanted. And so I've been telling people a lot, especially over the last 5 years or so. To me, my career, I've done everything I want to do as an actor. For like the last 5 years, I've been pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been pretty. Well, I'm done in terms of like, I don't feel like I have anything left to prove. I don't have anything left to prove.
Right.
But it doesn't mean I want to stop doing it. I still love doing it. I still love the business. But in terms of acting, that part of my life to me is kind of already complete. So. And I always tell people, I don't need to retire from acting. I'm already not doing it. So exactly. So it's like me saying I quit doesn't change anything. It makes me more miserable. No, but I would like to get more into production. And so, yeah, more into producing, more into writing, and just being more involved behind the scenes. So I think that's the next thing for me, is more transitioning into that world.
Who's your favorite director?
My favorite director is, well, it depends. I'm a big James Cameron fan in terms of like blockbusters, but my favorite writer-director is Linklater. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Everybody wants some.
Yes, sir. Yeah. You can see his influence in my short film.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Your film, which came out. But let me go to...
Yeah, real quick. You know, honestly, like I'll echo what Alex said. A lot of times when I look at like the career, I never had goals to even make it as far as I have already. I've already, like, my goals were, when I started, I would have never pictured I'd even get to where I am at now. Like, I've already way exceeded what I thought was possible. I was a kid with like zero people that I watched on TV that seemed like Hollywood stars I've now worked with, you know? Like, it is crazy how much 15, 17, 3 years, 15 to 17, 18 years. It is crazy how much can change in that time. It's obviously quite a bit of time, but like, the goals that I set for myself, they're exceeded. So there's one thing to be said about like continuing trying to like push forward and keep trying to do something new and keep trying to work, because it's exciting. It's now reached a point for me where like anytime I get a job, it's just fun. Like, I'm not trying to prove anything to myself anymore. I've gotten what I want. Obviously, if I get a job that's higher caliber than anything else I've had, right, I'll get excited. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be fun. Like, I get to work with like a really big actor, or I get to work with a really big director or a really big production. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. There's excitement there. But I think like for me personally, if you're thinking, you know, what the end goal is. And I don't know, because I do feel like I'm just going to be doing this till I die, whatever that is. But there is a part of me that wants to tie back into my like my Swiss childhood, my childhood in Switzerland. Okay. There's a film industry there that's very slowly growing, and slowly I say, but they are between Canada and Switzerland. There's actually been a lot of productions that have been unified between the two. There's a lot of Swiss people that are shooting stuff in Vancouver, and Canada in particular. And a lot of what's important to me now is to try to chase like my culture and my roots from growing up there. So I don't know what the end game is, but if I can find a way to like tie in my career in Canada with something in Switzerland to give back to the industry there, or start tying people in, because there's amazing directors. I mean, Godard came out of Switzerland. Like, a lot of amazing filmmakers came from that area, France, Switzerland. If I can continue working in a manner that can unite these two kind of cultural identities that I have, then I think I'll be happy at the end of my life, my career. Sure. Which will also be the end of my life.
We'll get Mr. James Cameron over here.
Yes, I want to
We'll get him to director next, whatever. On there.
Yeah, a lot of Bollywood.
I mean, I don't want to be a director, just for the record. I don't want to direct.
Yeah, I don't. That's the other thing that I should probably put down is like my
not direct.
Oh no, I want to hire directors. I don't want to be one.
Directing. I don't think I'll be writing or directing at all. I think acting is just where I live. Producing is the one other another avenue that I tremendously enjoy.
Right.
I got like type A ADHD. Like I love working. I like doing many things at once. And organizing all this kind of stuff. That is, I've produced a couple of short films, and don't get me wrong, it is an almost impossibly hard task at times.
Right.
In my personal experience, I'm sure you can attest to it. But like, it is a thrill, and I do enjoy the sense of accomplishment that comes out of producing something. You know,
Right.
You can look at this piece and say, "Hey, I did this," or me and this little team of ragtag renegade filmmakers made this. We put it together. It was nothing, and now it's
It
something.
was fucking from scratch.
You know, no matter where it gets to, no matter if it's a success or a failure, it doesn't matter. You can look at it and go, we did that.
Yeah, because like 90% of the people were like, say like, hey, like, you know, I'm going to produce this, I'm going to write this.
Yeah.
But then very little people do it, right? Like, it's one thing to fucking say it, but it's like another to actually do it.
Oh, a whole other
Right?
thing.
A lot of people say stuff, but
Yeah.
they don't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to start by saying it, but then
You do.
that's step one, and then
Make a commitment, but then you got to follow through.
activate. Yeah.
100%. I mean, since we're on that topic already, well, congratulations for your shorts.
Sorry,
It's called
thank you.
No,
Thank
which
you.
is on YouTube. I believe?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I know that you kind of like walked me through it like a couple of years ago that you know
Right.
you told me that you want to whatever like baseball stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So walk us through like the story of this. Like, is this something that you went through? Like,
No.
So yeah.
Ironically, our director went through it, kind of. No. I just wanted to make a cool film.
So what's the story? It's like for someone who's never seen it. Just
Without giving too much away, it's a story between. It's about two guys who used to be best friends, and now they're not anymore because the one guy, his girlfriend left him for the other guy. And so the movie, and then they have to play each other in like a beer league championship, but they're both pitchers. And so the story kind of is told through the baseball game. Yeah. It's a very simple story. It's a long film for such a simple story, but we had a great time making it. Adil was in it. I came up with the script like a year before I wrote it, and then I wrote it a year before I started making the movie. So it was and then the movie was completed 2023. So it was probably like a 2.5-3 year journey between getting the idea and then writing the script and then actually putting the film together. And we wanted to, I wanted to do I wanted to do like a full indie thing, right? So me and my friend helped me executive produce it. So, it was all our own money, all our own talent. Everything was done through us, no grants, no outside help. And we assembled like a sick team. So,
how big was the production?
The entire crew, including the cast, probably 100 people. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That was good. There was a crane on set, man.
Yeah. No, it was
Crane camera on set.
No, that's just the cast. The cast was 20 people.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely.
You had a
But no, glory to God, man.
Yeah,
Like honestly,
great
like
DOP.
it was a thing where it was something that God had put in my heart a long time ago, and I knew that He was gonna lead me to doing that the right way.
Right.
And I'll tell you something, like if you don't have God while you're producing a film, like I don't know what you're doing. I don't know how you're getting through it, because I almost died. I almost died, man. Like I couldn't sleep without drinking. I couldn't it's 5 weeks of just stress.
Underrated. Underrated, but I mean, like, people don't realize the amount of, unless you're doing it, until you do it, and you literally put all your money, your savings, everything on the line, and because no doubt, no matter what you're gonna do, in somewhere in the process of producing a short film, you will look at failure right in the face. Yeah, right in the face. You will be like, I am failing. Like, I'm done. This is over. It's done. But you know what? Like Alex said, like through faith, through perseverance, with the grace of God, you find a way to make it work. And because of those hurdles and those accomplishments that you get through, the final reward is like, no matter what happens with the movie, the final reward is just so gratifying, because you're like, I got there. I got there. I did it. I did it.
Yeah, man.
There's no
Yeah.
such feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing but problems, right? But then you're there to solve them. That's the idea. You create this massive. That's what you're doing. You want to produce a movie. You're just creating a huge problem.
Yeah.
You're taking something that doesn't exist at all, and you're trying to bring it into existence. It's kind of crazy when you look at it that way.
It really is. I mean, like, it's kind of like the same thing about anything in life, I would say. Like, it's just when you're trying to sell something, when you're trying to come up with a product, you're trying to solve like a problem, like a pain point. That's not hands. When you, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when you shop on Amazon or even when you buy, period, I don't think you would, I mean, some people do, but I don't think you would like go and like fucking shop around. Like, let me see what's on special today. Like, let me see what the discounts are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You probably know already what you want.
Yeah.
You know, like if you buy a camera, it's because you need to do movies or shoot.
Yeah.
Like, we all have a problem that we're trying to fulfill.
Yeah.
And again, very similar to what you said, just to echo what you said, right? So,
Well, even just setting this up, right? Like, you said you had no idea how to run a podcast, Now look at you.
Look at this. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Alex came, I was like, how am I gonna do this? Because
I love it.
You guys see the couch over here, like that's usually what I use. I only have like one guest.
Yeah.
That is the first time I have two people.
Well, I don't think I've ever done a podcast with two people. So like especially not with like one of my best friends, you know. So
No, it's sick, man.
being able to do it with one of my when you posed the question, I was like, well, it's probably the one guy like that I would do this with. Like it's new for everybody, but that's kind of exactly the whole point. Is that when you decide to produce something, a podcast, a short film, a movie, whatever it may be, yes, you're opening the door to a world of problems, and you're going to be like, how am I going to solve these? But here we are.
Yeah, man.
You know, solve.
And that's, like you said, that's the difference between the people who say they're going to do something and the people who actually get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's the thing, it's like
Immigrant mentality, bro.
I was gonna say shopping. I'm brown. I love a good deal. But like at the end of the day, like you. I think it's important to remember that yes, some of these can be failures. Just because you say you're going to do something and then you go out and do it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to succeed. You might fail, and all of us have, like, there's a bunch of failures I can serve up on a platter for you from my own personal experiences. But I think it's commendable if you can just go out there and do it. Try, give it your best shot. If it works, great. Then try again. Do something new. Do whatever. But like, if you fail, that's also okay. Yeah. That's like, there's nothing wrong with giving I think the only thing that there's something wrong with is not giving it the effort. Right. If you say you're gonna do it, if you say you're gonna do it, give it the effort. If you fail, that's okay. If you succeed, wonderful, man.
If anything, it's almost like inspiring that you fail. It's just like we only, like, as we usually say, like, we learn from our failures. When you actually succeed, which happens sometimes, you learn more.
You learn,
right?
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Yeah, learning what to do is as important as learning what not to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Learning is learning. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with failing unless you don't learn from it.
Unless you don't learn. Exactly.
If you're just failing over and over again and not learning a lesson.
Yeah, if you fail and you blame everybody else.
That's a bigger problem. You can't blame anybody else. You can't.
I love that. That's amazing.
You got to learn from it.
So, what was it called again? The short?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Why is it called No?
Oh, it's
baseball, baby. Baseball.
So, yeah, no is a baseball term referring to when a pitcher is throwing a no-hitter.
Oh.
So, yeah, but it's also, it's a double entendre. No, but a lot of people don't pick up on that part. A lot of people who don't watch baseball, but even they ask, and I'm like, it's a double entendre. It's like a no is something that you're not supposed to do.
Right.
I.e.
double no's,
yeah, it's like i.e. you don't date your best friend's girlfriend or whatever, you know what I mean? That's a big no, bro. That's just kind of it. Yeah, exactly. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just it was a working title, and then it was just the title.
It worked. It's catchy.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, you guys should check it out. It's honestly, it's a very good story.
It is.
Yeah. Give it a little gander.
I'm surprised of like the production value too. Like, it's not like a cheap.
Dude.
Even the angles and the fucking close-ups and the fucking. I mean, the acting.
I'll literally. I'll speak as someone that had no idea and walked in like on the day.
Bro, like.
But I was like,
if this is your first fucking film.
It might be the last too.
That's how it's cute. Yeah.
No, but my whole thing, I was like, I want to do it again, but not with my own money.
Right.
That's the thing. It was very expensive. Although we use our money very well, I don't have enough money left to do another project like that. No way. And I wouldn't even want to really with my own money unless I had more than I
So what about
need.
these, the Crazy 8 festivals where they actually give you some sort of funds and
Well, see, this is the
stuff around?
But see, that's the thing. For Crazy Eights, you have to pitch, and then you have to go through this whole process to get selected. And then once you're selected,
Right.
they're still the ones producing your film.
And they own
So
your
yeah, they exactly.
They own your film.
I own this movie. So it's mine. I get to do whatever I want with it. It's totally up to me. So that was a big part of the project too. I wanted to make something that I would be in control of, because it's like I'm a control freak, but there's no aspect of my life where I ever get to exert that much control. So this was like the one thing where I was like, okay, I'm gonna call all the shots from top to bottom and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it was good. But yeah, these guys just saw me stressing for like 3 months. And I was like, hey, you guys gonna be in the movie or what? They're like, yeah, we'll be in the movie.
Yeah, I will say, like showing up because again, Alex, like the start to finish his baby.
Yeah.
But the rest of us, we got the date. We're like, yeah, of course, whatever we all show up. It's first of all the genius of putting like 15 of the bestest of friends together in a room, being like, you guys are gonna be on baseball teams. Dude, it was all our best friends. We got to spend like 2 days on a baseball field.
Wait, you got shot everything in 2 days?
The baseball 2 days, yeah.
Right.
Baseball 2 days.
All the flashback stuff was
house
one
theme and
first.
all that,
Yeah, that was 1 day.
Yeah, there was a 3 day.
Yeah, 3 day shoot.
Three-day shoot. But just be like, that's an experience I don't think, no matter
dude,
how
it's
much
so
we get to
sick.
work in this industry,
Yeah.
that's an experience that we'll never forget, but also
Yeah.
we never thought we would
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
no one ever saw that coming.
Yeah.
So just for that, it was worth like
No, it was
its weight
wicked.
in gold.
It was wicked, man. Like the chemistry on screen is just like so good.
Man, it was really
it's
fun.
people that have known each other for like over a decade. Like we, like
No, it was great. Like both teams were like, I spent so much time putting the teams together, and our director was like, oh, maybe we could do this. No, I was
Make
like,
it fair, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
no, I was just literally like, I know all these guys, and I know who needs to be on which team.
Right.
And sure enough, you would be on set, and like my team, everybody would be out there just throwing the ball, playing catch. Their team, they're all singing in the dugout, singing songs.
it was very.
That was the
well-
actor squad. Blue team was the actor squad. Red team was the athlete douchey squad.
Yeah, it was well crafted, man. It was well crafted.
No offense, Shannon. You're golden, bro.
Well, he was the captain, so
Yeah, exactly. You needed some chops.
yeah.
But it was a great time. It was the best project.
Nice.
Like for
Truly,
me, just
it
the best
was-
time I've ever had working
I
on
feel
it.
like compelled to interject
thing.
in this because I feel like I want to. Okay, so I think the biggest problem that we all face when we're trying to shoot something is obviously the weather. I want to ask you: had the weather not cooperated that day? Like, it looked like it was sunny in the movie.
It was very exciting. It was very
Yeah.
like, heat
Where
wave.
you guys like? Doesn't matter what happened. Like, if it was gonna rain, like we're fucking doing it.
We didn't have a choice, but we
committing.
Yeah, we had to commit. Thank God again. Like the weather was good. The challenge was how hot it was.
Oh,
So keeping
really?
people hydrated. Yeah, somebody on our crew,
You
unfortunately.
guys were like wearing like long sleeves, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was just
but it was
also
not just
heat.
us.
It
The
was just
crew
heat.
too. Like somebody in our crew got like heat stroke. It was really bad. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It was really hot. It was
super hot. So like being
middle of
hydrated.
summer, I think, if I'm not wrong.
It was first 2 days of June.
Yeah,
So
like,
it was
summer was
30
rampant.
plus. It was like 30 degrees or something.
Wow.
Out there in the sun. Yeah, it was tough. So that was actually the challenge, making sure everybody was able to work but not overwork themselves.
Yeah.
Keeping everybody hydrated and whatnot. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's like even for you guys, if you're talking about stumbling blocks, like some people don't show up, or some people all of a sudden you like lose someone on the last
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
All these things that pop up along the way, whether it's staffing issues, whatever it may be, that's just you're gonna have to find. The show goes on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to find a way to make
you're
it
all-
work.
yeah.
No, people showed up. People showed up for us big time, man. We had a couple times where somebody wasn't able to make it, and somebody stepped up like immediately. It was
Really
just-
last minute?
Yeah.
Last minute, like driving out to Coquitlam, being like, "I'll be there." We're just fucking,
Yeah.
you know?
To an accident, something.
Yeah, it's like, just people believed in the project. Like I'm very grateful for all the effort that everybody put in, because it wouldn't.
It's very inspiring, honestly.
Yeah, these are all people like I didn't know. That's the thing too. It's not like I hired a crew of people that I knew before. I had no idea who these
So you
people
knew
were.
the cast.
Yeah,
The cast were my people, but I
The
was
crew you had, like, never met them before.
the cinema.
Didn't vet them or anything.
Well, like the director.
I met the director.
Yeah, I found this guy on the
No, so
street.
the director and the cinematographer were the two crew members that I had, and then from that point, the producer I had just met, and we had a phone call in December, or November, December, and then we had some meetings over the next few months, and then we said, okay, when are we shooting in the summer? And then he, with the help of the director and the cinematographer, but the guy who produced our movie, Matt Villeneuve, he brought on like his own team, and he provided the entire shoot. Basically, it was nuts. So yeah.
So for anyone like who's watching right now and they probably like want to like write, produce their own stuff, like how would they go about like finding, like where would you even start about like finding the crew and the people behind the camera? Are there like websites? Can you go book stuff like that, or like?
I got lucky. I was on set. I talked to the guy who was our first AD on our film, but he was first AD on this film. And he's second AD on this film, and I was talking to him. We were getting along. I said, "Hey, man, I've got this short film I want to make. I don't know if you know anybody." He's like, "I do know someone," and then he put me in contact with this producer, and that's how this business kind of works. Because that's producing. I always wondered, how do you become a producer? And then I realized, you need an iPhone. Start making them calls, man. Like it's favors for favors. Like that's really what it is.
No, literally. I think like it's exactly the same thing in the ones that I produced. At the beginning, I had no real idea. First of all, you usually embark on the journey because you have like maybe one or two people that you're with. I knew a guy that was really good at editing, and I knew a guy that had a camera. Okay, and then after that, didn't really know anybody else. But you start saying that you want to make a movie to one person, who says it to another person, who says, oh, hey, this person might be free, who says that person might be free. And before you know it, you've built a little mini network. People know people who know people. And that's, if you don't start proactively, you got to be very proactive as to, once you've made the decision that you want to make this thing, you're going to probably be talking about it to everybody that you know who can probably help you out, or maybe knows somebody. And a lot of it comes from like someone that knows someone that knows someone. That's like, okay, cool. You want to offer a bit of your time, especially like the kind of stuff I made. I couldn't pay the crew. Like I was like, please help me out. So, God bless them. They all came, they showed up, they delivered. We had some connections on our end. And then me being an actor, I knew a bunch of actors that I was like, okay, I can maybe get a couple of those to come help me out. But it's something that you do have to just take a leap of faith. Like you have to. There's no, I don't think there's been a producer in the history of producing that's had every single piece lined up right when they said, I want to make a short film. Like it's a process, man.
It's a long process. And
you get blessed, you get lucky with people that come out of the woodwork that are willing to give you their time, their energy, their even their passions. People get as passionate about this project as I was, or that like Alex would be for his, and you're like, it's there's something so rewarding about you putting something together and then having someone come up and give that project as much of their passion that you're giving it, and all of a sudden now we've got a team. Like now we're rolling. And as soon as that ball gets rolling, then it's fun. It's fun.
A lot of people have trouble even letting go after it's over. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
I just want to like you work on something for 6 months,
right?
And then
you have to part ways, whatever. Well,
the shoot itself, right? Like you bring 100 people together for 3 days of like intense team building. Intense work.
Intimate.
And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, we're done. Like even on a TV show where you shoot for months and months and months, right? You get super attached to the whole crew, and then it's like,
right?
Exactly.
And then then you're done. Then you're done.
It's over.
Move on.
And you either see them again on the next set or not.
I mean, exactly. Like some people you stay in touch with, some you don't, and
it's the nature of the business.
Almost. Except hopefully people got paid or something got made. Yeah. At least we got something out of it.
Yeah. Love it.
3 single guys giving themselves away.
Okay, I want to go back because I know we were talking about the thing in the beginning. That improv show you started back.
Oh gosh.
2019.
You can go ahead.
Okay, so Alex started this improv show, which is actually based. It's the style that started in Quebec. This is like Quebec style improv.
Sports.
Were you there? Or did you?
I came to watch.
Yeah, you saw the show. Yeah.
Quite a
That's
few
actually how I
times.
met Alex.
Yeah.
That's actually how I saw him.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I was fucking chilling on the rocks. And I was like, yeah, there's like an improv show happening tonight.
Let's
Yeah.
rock and roll.
I was like, fuck yeah, I love him.
2019, yeah.
I was like watching this, and I'm from Quebec, right? So I know this. I watched this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
It's on TV back
why
home.
does this sound familiar? Where was this taken from?
Yeah. I've seen this concept.
Yeah, we started chatting, and I was like, oh yeah, it's just this concept that I brought.
Yeah.
I don't know, you kind of like told me like it was kind of hard to monetize this. You know, you're not making money out of this for a long time.
No, it wasn't that it was hard to monetize. It was actually quite easy to monetize. No, I've made money doing it. No, it was something that I just really wanted to do. I saw, it's like when you're in business or you're learning about business, like I saw a gap in the market, right? When I moved here in 2011, I was going around, I went to theater sports, I went to a few improv shows, and they were good, but I saw that the style of improv that we do in Quebec, which I had done for like 5 years before I moved here.
Yeah.
I played a lot of games, met a lot of people, and it's very, very popular. There's like a ton of bar leagues, there's a televised league, and I saw that this didn't exist out here.
True.
So since 2011, I was like, I want to do that. I want to put that together, but
For 8 years, you were thinking about this.
like 8 years straight, like 8 years straight.
Insane.
And then finally, when I got into a position where I felt like I had the means and the time, because I wanted to do it right. And you saw how it was, right? Like everybody was dressed up. We had the setup, we had the stage, we had the production had to be a certain way for me to actually bite and go for it. And so once I got all the pieces together, then it was a matter of getting the staff. So I found my MCs, found my coaches. And then after that, for the performers, we put out some feelers and asked people to come out and try out. And once we had them ready to go, we had a few months of rehearsals, maybe 2 or 3 months of rehearsals, and then we had 4 shows in the summer, and it did so well that the venue asked us to come back and do 4 more shows like a month later. And so I made
It was
money.
like honestly the most fun ever.
Yeah, it was very fun.
It was just like
It was sick, man. I was ready to run it back this following year, but COVID just kind of put a stop to it, and
right.
after that it was too difficult for me to
Logistically.
get it. Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of it's just a lot. I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but it just hasn't been a priority. Honestly, the way I saw it is like I was just grateful once again that I got to do it at all.
Right.
Because if I had waited one more summer, it would have been done.
Right.
Like I wouldn't have been able to show anybody. So
the attendance that
It was-
you guys had.
That was.
it was through the roof.
I was stunned. Like
I
it
was
was.
like,
It was.
I was like,
Yeah.
bro, like it's just
Our first night, I think we had like 120 people show up.
and
Yeah.
wasn't it like
No, there was like a line at one point.
No, it was not free.
Yeah.
It was $10.
it was $10, yeah.
It was $10. Yeah, it is very good. Like honestly,
It's affordable.
well, I spent all the
Not a lot
money.
of things you can get for $10.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be. That's the thing, right?
Not even McDonald's.
Not trying,
It's fucking more expensive now, bro. One box, bro.
but not to throw shade on any other like shows in town. But in Quebec, it's supposed to be an accessible game, you know? Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to be something that you either attend for free or very cheap on a Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So I wanted to keep the price low.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I paid for all the uniforms.
Wow.
Which was the most expensive part. To dress all the players was probably like a few $1,000. The venue was free, so that was great. And then after that, it was just paying the staff. So like the coaches and the MCs, they all got like a stipend from doing the shows.
Mm-hmm.
The performers performed for free, but they got, I was running tabs for them at the bar and things like that. So they got a lot out of it. They got to just come out and perform, find a place to just like express themselves and things like that, which was the goal. I wanted to create a culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was super stoked with the turnout. I think our slowest night we had like 60 people show up or something like that. So the money, I made money. Like I paid off all the stuff that I had spent, and then I made extra money, and then so we went out for like a big dinner, and I just spent it all on them, and just was like, let's just keep doing this as long as we can. Turns out it wasn't that long though.
COVID had other plans.
COVID assassinated that baby real quick.
Hold up.
But no, I'm stoked that that I did it and that it worked.
I mean, never say never. You know?
No, I'm not saying never. I'm not saying never, but I had to. It's got to come from the right place.
Yeah.
If I don't wake up wanting it to get done, like I just won't be in it. You know what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great project. I'd love to get involved sometime.
Dude, if someone wants to revive it, I'm there. I love it because my whole
I'm not
plan.
into it because it's just
It's a lot of work. It looked like a lot of work.
A lot on my plate, but I would be like
ton of work.
down at some point.
Well, my whole plan was to eventually be able to.
Just tell the ref.
I can ref it.
No, you can't. You will ref it.
It was
I never meant to run it. I never meant to be as involved the entire time. I knew that for the first few seasons I would have to be because no one else has the knowledge.
Yeah.
But a big part of getting that show done was educating the staff and the players on the format.
Yeah,
so we did exactly. So we had to we did a lot of education in terms of the rules, in terms
Did you send them like some videos of the actual Quebec version?
Oh, I didn't send them videos. We watched them together.
Oh.
Yeah. We would watch them together and I'd be like, okay, so this is what you guys are going to be doing in terms of you see how they're, even in terms of logistically moving through the scene.
Yeah.
Being if you want to come in as a character or if you want to use your jersey as a prop, here's ways you can learn to do that and things like that. So there was a huge education process there. But once they have that, they can then pass that on and, get the culture growing and have more people involved. Ideally, in the end, I wanted to have 4 teams set and then have a 6-week season or 8-week season run throughout the summer. But not yet.
Yeah, not yet. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, there's you started it.
Yeah. It's entertaining, man. I'll be there. From the blurs that I remember from the audience, tequila shots later, it was very entertaining.
I had David the other day. We were talking about it for almost an hour.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, for sure. And I love how rowdy the crowd was too. It was so
Rowdy.
It was a rowdy environment.
Such fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Roxy's a really good place anyway.
Perfect place.
People go there anywhere to watch shows. You don't have to. You don't have to do much. They're already going there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very little marketing to be done.
Well, we brought them so much business. That's the thing. When the show would end, the building would clear on a Tuesday. Yeah. They would make so much money during the 2 hours we were there, and then they'd be like, "Yeah, keep coming back," because normally we don't do anything on Tuesday from 7 to 9.
Keep it rolling.
No, it's always free. I mean, I don't know if it is anymore, but back then, you could just book it for free, and you get to keep all the door money.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't even take any of that. They just take what
They're a great venue.
What people spend at the bar. Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of there's also a lot of concerts that happen in those early hours because from local bands and whatever, because they have a great venue. They don't use it in that time slot, and so it's open for the people. Again, I don't know if it's free at the moment, but it is there.
Yeah.
The venue is there and it's available.
Love it.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. So before we wrap this up, I guess I usually like to end with this question. I know that you're working on some stuff that we have to edit out of the but
I still want to be
is there anything in the realm of what we can share that you guys are working on, or perhaps even some New Year's resolution that you guys are looking forward to? Anything that is worth sharing that you guys can?
We're finishing the final season of Resident Alien is almost done shooting, so I'll be appearing in that, and I don't know when
it's still shot on the island, or
No, they only shoot part of it on the island. Most of it is shot here? In Delta. Yeah.
Okay.
So look out for that. I'm assuming it'll be released later in the year or something. But so far that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'll probably be going back to Quebec to shoot another season of Like I Knew, which is a French Canadian sitcom that's been doing pretty well. Like I Knew, yeah, it's a Creole title.
Sounds like this One Piece character.
Kainu? No. Hey, you already know we rep the straw hats in the building, bro. Heck, always gonna.
Peace.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love Akainu. I don't care.
He's so sick.
Fuck the haters, bro.
It's fucking sick.
All Ace had to do was turn around.
Honestly, I prefer his old look though. It's before the fucking new.
Yeah. Well, now he's the top dog now. He's got a. Yeah, he's the top dog now. He's got a rep.
Gotta rep, gotta show up. Gotta absolutely. Everything is I know all of it. We talk about Dragon Ball Z. I'll be down there.
Yeah.
Gundam. We'll talk Gundam. I love Gundam. Actually, there's a movie I just saw outright.
No, but I think they're making a Gundam movie. I don't know if it's a live action or something.
There's an anime at the theater right now playing. It's all dubbed, but subbed. It's all subbed.
Yeah.
But I want to go see it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Absolutely.
That's all fucking.
I'm a Gundam. It's done. We're in.
Gundam boys.
Gundam is that's top shit.
Have you guys seen the live action series of One Piece?
Yeah.
No, I haven't, but
It's actually not bad.
Like,
I was
fucking I never fucking worked a live series.
I was expecting to hate it.
Dragon Ball Z.
I did not hate it. yeah.
Absolute failure.
Yeah. No, season 2 should be. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Same.
Yeah.
I actually liked what they did with the story. The parts that they changed, I thought was really. I thought it was really clever, really well done. I mean, shout out to Oda though, because we know the show was supposed to come out sooner, and he was like, nah.
Yeah.
You can't release this. He made them go and redo it.
Yeah.
So that's gangsta, bro. Shout out to the GOAT.
Fuck it.
That's funny.
Well, rest in peace, Toriyama. You know what I mean?
Toriyama, baby. Toriyama.
The legend. The legend. Oh, the legend.
Absolute literal, like,
Love it.
man, Dragon Ball Z is, like, such an integral part of my childhood. It's
100%.
ridiculous.
Some of them died. Even the Yu-Gi-Oh guy died too.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The guy who did Yu-Gi-Oh!
I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot.
2 years ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Like the guy from Hunter x Hunter is sick.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Oh, they work hard, eh?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've created our childhood, so they can rest.
Right now, wasn't for that, bro.
They can rest with the Lord. They did their job.
I love that.
And bless them. I got what is it? Things on Sight Unseen I did just came out. So that's on TV somewhere.
Yeah.
There's something that'll come out in the summer that I can't really say much about. And then, honestly, a lot of this year, there'll be a ton of other work that pops in, but a lot of this year actually is trying to bridge that Swiss Canadian gap for me. Like, that's actually a pretty big priority. There's a film group in the consulate in Vancouver that I've been talking to a lot. So, not much to be said tangibly right now, but there's gears moving, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I don't really know what the end product is, but I do know that there is some exciting untapped potential in that realm. So we'll see where that goes, I'm excited for people to keep in touch. Exactly. Instagram. It'll all be on Instagram. Yeah. But I attended, this little luncheon with a bunch of top filmmakers. One of the DOPs that worked with Godard was actually there. Oh. It was a meet and greet with him. And, which is why I watched Breathless the other day. But he was there. We got to talking, and we were also just talking about how much potential there is between Switzerland and Canada in order to be able to bridge gaps, especially with people that speak multiple. Like, I speak English and French. I think we all speak English and French. Speak English and French. Yeah. And so there is potential there, and I think it can open up avenues for different kind of creative work that maybe we're not as used to, or something that's culturally different that will be exciting for people to see. So keep in touch, man. I mean, we'll see. I post a lot of this stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, I'd love to.
It'll be there.
Have you here, promote it. Get it out of the world.
There will definitely be more to promote as we go. I promise you.
That's honestly been like one of the funniest episode we've had. Like, I mean, like, man, I'm like fucking feeling like
you're fucking crying, laughing at my pain.
This is so fucking funny.
Oh, you knew that was coming when you got the two of us in a room together. I mean,
we expected people that well.
We've been friends for those people that don't know. We've been friends for like 12 years, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm so happy when you bring two people together that
best friends
from the fucking get-go. You know what I mean? So guys, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having us, bro. This was fun.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. That's kind of the end of our show, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.